Edgy's games are dead and gone, but the show is going on. If you down, it's dead. If you love it, I said, a green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. We've been waiting for so long. Edgy's rain, soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. Edgy's games are dead and gone, but the show is going on. If you doubt it, it's dead. If you love it, buy it, say. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. We've been waiting for so long. Edgy's rain, soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. Edgy's games are dead and gone, but the show is going on. If you doubt it, it's dead. If you love it, buy it, say. Green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. Edgy's games are dead and gone. GameStop's rising, going strong. If you doubt it, it's dead. If you love it, show you a green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. We've been waiting for so long. Edgy's rain, soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. Edgy's games are dead and gone, but the show is going on. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. We've been waiting for so long. Edgy's rain, soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. Edgy's games are dead and gone, but the show is going on. If you doubt it, it's dead. If you love it, buy it, say. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. Keep the waiting for so long. Edgy's rain, soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the $50, $40 brown. Edgy's games are dead and gone, but the show is going on. If you doubt it, it's dead. If you love it, buy it, say.
Up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right.
Oh, millionaire. Short swing plays, my fortune flip. GameStop's journey, an epic trip. From humble roots to the moon we fly. A company's dream will amplify. Ready warriors, keyboards in hand, with their eyes on the prize, they took a stand. No one's selling, we're here to fight. How does it go? Up and to the right, up and to the right. We're in for the ride. It's not on the right, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar. Ashes in sight. Up and to the right, we're in for the ride. GameStop's on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar. More asses in sight. Hedge funds trembling, Kenny's in shock. GameStop stock, you never stop. From diamond hands to rocket ships, we're not selling. We
Surprise.
We're gonna win. We're gonna win.
All right. We are here. We are live. October 2nd, T-5 for the GameStop warrant distribution. Welcome to the evening show. What a freaking day with GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond. I was watching that one too. We'll get to that in a minute. They had their date of record today, right? And GameStop has their date of record tomorrow, Friday. And both of them have their warrant distribution on Tuesday, the 7th. We'll talk about what we noticed going on with BBBY today in the options chain and the charts. And, you know, maybe we can draw some conclusions about what the next 24 hours is going to look like for GameStop. Or maybe they'll be completely different. And I saw that one of the other meme stocks, AMC, had a nice little run at the end of the day today too. I don't know if that is related to what's going on with GameStop and BBBY. But we'll get into all that and whatever else you guys want to. Just a casual hangout tonight. Mostly, you know, I see a lot of people out there on social media still have a lot of questions about options. When can you buy? What's going to happen to my options? If I buy tomorrow, will I still get the warrants? Should I sell the warrant? Should I hold the warrant? Should I exercise the warrants? What's going to happen to the price of the warrants? So many questions. So I'm just going to hang out. I'm drinking water. I might light up a cigar in a little bit, but killing a little bit of time. If you are invested in AMC, I am not, by the way, but if you are, well, I'm not until I see what's on the proxy statement. If you are, I released my Q3 expectations. What do I think we're going to see on the earnings announcement in 5 or 6 weeks? That video is now out, so be sure and check that one out later tonight. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are new here and turn on alerts. I'm trying to do daily coverage of GameStop at least till the warrant distribution, and then if it's interesting for the few days after that, we'll keep going for a few days. T+1, T+2, T+3 next week. We're at T-5 right now. Steve, good evening. Alex, Corey, Roaring Lion, KC. How is Devinda today? He sent me a picture of a fish, but I didn't know if he went out fishing today or not. J-Dog, how you doing? Bitcoin back over 120K. Hoorah. Robert, good evening. Six Sun says BKKT's been killing it. Alex, howdy. Just so we are clear, the halt that is going on right now, it went in place at 8 p.m. Eastern after the normal after hours trading session ended and before the overnight started. And that is pretty standard, I think. It's just so they can do the count, put all the names on the list of who's getting their magic warrants, and it should be trading normal tomorrow. So this is just a slight pause so they can get everybody on record who owned GameStop by 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. You'll be T+1 tomorrow. You'll be the holder of record tomorrow, and you'll get your warrants on Tuesday. That's what we would expect to see. Also, tomorrow, you should notice that the options chain for GameStop will change to GME1. Although I did see the OCC put out another memo with, I don't even know, some flex options, GME2, 2GME2. I don't even know what that's all about. I'm not even really worried about it at this point. We know that there's going to be some options that are in existence right now that have warrants attached to them. And then after tomorrow, there'll be a new options chain created by the CBOE, which you probably won't see until Tuesday when the warrants are distributed. But there will be a regular GME options chain come back. There'll be a BBBY one come back. Let's look here at what BBBY looks like today on the options chain. You'll see they all say BBB1. There is no BBBY. If you want to see this, make sure you have non-standard turned on, because when it changes to BBBY1 or GME1, if you don't have this box checked on whatever your broker is, you're not going to see anything. You're just going to think the options chain is gone. It's not gone. It's not gone. Turn on non-standard, you'll be able to see BBBY1. And tomorrow, if you have non-standard turned on, you'll be able to see GME1. And then I think, by my best guess, on Tuesday-ish, we'll see regular BBBY and regular GME side by side. If you want to know what side by side looks like, we showed an example last night. Lucid. See how that every option has a lucid and then a lucid one. So that's what it'll eventually look like for these two tickers. I'm not saying Lucid had a warrant. I'm just saying when you have non-standard options, eventually you'll see both of them trading. All right. What else? Casey says it was a rough morning for dividend. I bet, man. Hey, Joe, how you doing? How you doing? AK is here. AK in the house. Ann says, are the warrants only for DRS shares? No. And good question. The warrants are for anyone who owned GameStop as of market close today. If you own 10 shares or more, you'll get at least one warrant. You'll get one warrant for every 10 shares. Now, there are some caveats to that. I can't tell you for certain, depending on who your broker is. Some of these smaller brokers, some of these smaller foreign brokers are telling people, we might give you cash in lieu. You might not actually get the warrant. That's up to them. That's not GameStop's fault. It's not your fault. That's just a shitty broker. And it is legal. And then possibly, but I'm not going to swear my life to this, but possibly if you have a margin account and if you have share lending turned on and if your GameStop shares are loaned out, it is possible, but don't hold me to this. It is possible that you might not get the warrants. You might get cash in lieu. I've seen some people debating that back and forth. I've seen companies put out letters that say if your shares are loaned out, you might not get the warrant. So that is what I'm going off of. You guys let me know. You let me know if you didn't get your warrants, please. Next week, if you don't get your warrants, come in the comments and let me know. And let me know the circumstances. KC says, Devinda asks that you say warrants quieter. He should do a follow-on shot tonight every time I say warrants, KC. Bite of the dog. David says, I'm not understanding why they would halt the stock because of the warrant distribution. It's kind of like, David, they need a pause for a moment to have the computers compile a list of who are all the holders of record. And if you're constantly trading, how do they ever take that snapshot? So an overnight halt, to my understanding, enables them to get that snapshot. And then I would presume in pre-market that it'll be trading again tomorrow. It's just you, says, new to following your videos. Any feedback about all the BYQ, supposedly some mysterious comeback? Yeah, I not follow. I read some of the posts from those people. And I will just tell you my opinion is you should go by the bankruptcy documents. And those documents say that the shares were canceled. So, I mean, I don't go pick on those people because, I mean, in the multiverse, maybe there is one in a million shot that something changes. And until the bankruptcy is absolutely finished, there's always that moonshot, right? But I think the shares are canceled, and they they have nothing else but hope. So, and having hope does not bother me, so I just leave them alone. I just leave them alone. I try and be helpful sometimes if I think I can be without, but they always think, even if I'm trying to be helpful, they think I'm attacking them, which is not the case. I mean, I'd love to see them get their money back, but it looks like the shares are canceled. So that's my answer for now. And the HBC case getting dismissed did not help. That was a good chance for the estate to get a bunch of money clawed back, and oh well, now the lenders get even less recovery, which means the common shareholders are even further away from getting any recovery, even though they're not going to get recovery anyways because their shares were canceled. The court already told them you're getting nothing. Sonny says, how much cash in lieu? That is a good question. And my answer would be, if you get cash in lieu, it would be at a value equal to what the warrant is worth. But I don't know the answer of at what point in time. At what point in time is that cash in lieu snapshot made? Is it made in pre-market on Tuesday? Is it made at market open? I don't know. Because what if the warrants open at $5 and then shoot up to 10? You would want the 10, right? And they only give you 5. I don't know. I've never followed one this close. If anybody knows, if you've worked on Wall Street, I have not, or you've watched one of these this closely before and you already know the answer because you got cash in lieu, then let me know. It's a little easier, with a regular cash dividend. A cash dividend is worth what the company says it's worth. There's no, you get your dividend or you get a payment in lieu of the same amount. But this is a little bit different because the price of the warrant is going to be dynamic. Joe says 30% left to recover all my AMC losses. Guys, raise your hands up for Joe. Let's send him some good mojo. Maybe we get a little run up, Joe, before the vote in December. Now's the time for AMC to run between now and December, if it's going to run, because literally the company has no shares left to dilute. The company can't stop a run up. You know what I mean? But I don't know, how high is the short interest? I haven't even looked at the short interest on AMC. But if there were a chance, it's for any weird push up that the company can't stop by raising cash, issuing shares, now is that moment. Gabriel says, I just hit the like button. Thank you, buddy. Jesus says, thoughts on AMC? Yes, I published a video, Jesus. Or I don't know if you're Hispanic. I'm sorry for assuming if it's Jesus United Church. I'm in Texas, so I just say Jesus by default. I published a video with my Q3 estimate. Just if you watch that, keep in mind, I'm doing my best. I'm not a CPA. This is very complicated stuff. When a company does a debt restructuring, figuring out if they're going to have a gain or a loss on the extinguishment of debt, it depends on how they extinguish the debt. And in AMC's case for this quarter, they did kind of a swap of the debt from one first lien to another. And so it was kind of complicated. And I'm not going to say that I know exactly what the numbers are going to be for that calculation, because you have to make certain assumptions. What discount rate is the company applying, and what is the fair value of the new liens? And I don't know what assumptions they're going to make. That's up to AMC's finance people. But if we set that aside, if we set that math aside, it's still going to be a loss for Q3. Q4 will be better. Next year will be better. But loss, better, but we still have a vote coming up in December. I'm going to keep on reminding you guys that. I know it gets irritating, but no one else is talking about it, and I think you should at least have a chance to be informed. Why is there going to be a vote? Because they're out of shares. Deboshimo says, Tony likes men. I think you're confusing me with some other GameStop. Deboshimo, some other GameStop. There's a lot of GameStop YouTubers that are worried about my sexuality. I think they're just a little jealous. I'm married to a hot redhead 23 years younger than me. They're jealous that I have two sons who've graduated college, one with a doctorate degree, another one about to graduate with his master's in accounting and finance. I mean, I know those are three things really tough to compete with. These guys have wives that cheat on them. They can't hold a job. They're stuck begging for memberships and donations on YouTube. I get it, why they're frustrated and upset at me. But I certainly do not like men. And if you don't believe me, come ask my wife. She's 23 years younger, and she's always like, were you looking at that girl? Is she cute? So, Deboshimo, go take it to the other channels. You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't play that way, my friend. J-Day says, who is Lou? Why are they giving him my cash? I don't know who Lou is. Marilyn Mom says, so the warrants will appear as a position with the value that can be traded. Yes, absolutely. They'll have their own ticker, GMEWS. And they will have a value. We can roughly estimate what that value is by looking at the October 2026 $32 strikes. Around $5, $4.70 would be today's, if the warrants started trading right now, somewhere in that neighborhood. And we'll have to see what happens with the GameStop price between now and Tuesday. That value of the warrant could go up or down. Six Sun says, look into some SPX 6900, huge long-term potential. Thank you. Palatial Gamer says, thanks for the shout out last week. Love the show. Just looking for facts. I'm here for facts. I'm not the guy to tell you the chart only goes up to the right. I'm not the guy to tell you it's going to $500. I'm not the guy that's going to tell you to buy every day at any price. I'm not the guy that is going to tell you, do not diversify. No, fucking diversify. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. If you do, that's cool. I mean, you can. I'm not going to be the guy to tell you to do it. I think that is stupid advice. But if you understand the risk of being invested in one company, it's called company-specific risk. If you understand that and accept it, and you're good with it, and you want to put your life savings in one company, you have my blessing. Just don't ask me to give that instruction, because I think that is horrible financial advice. Horrible, horrible. If someone still wants to do it, that's your choice. But Craig says, will GME options that expire tomorrow be tradable tomorrow? Yes, I would expect so. There might be a delay in settlement, Craig, because the GME options tomorrow will have a warrant deliverable, right? That's why they're switching to GME1. But we won't know the value of the warrant, and the warrant won't even be, they couldn't put it in your account on Monday because it's not going to be distributed till Tuesday. So the OCC may delay if you were to exercise. I think you should be able to trade them, close out, no problem. If you were to exercise or get exercised on, it might be delayed settlement until after the warrants are out. You can fact check me on that. Go read that OCC memo. AMC Hawkeye says, so basically a $5 divvy for every 10 shares. That's right. I mean, 50 cents a share, Hawkeye, is what we're talking about. Kangaroo, how you doing? He says, very excited, going big on GME. Good luck to you. God bless. Just, for those of you who it is your first time here, I am a swing trader of GameStop. Don't hate. I switched my trading plan in 2022 when the company did the split. I tried the hold thing. It wasn't working. I switched, sold in that run up in 2022. And I just, buy when it's cheap, sell into run ups. I might have to wait a while again, buy when it's cheap, sell into run ups. This was my last purchase, 2161 on June 12th. And I kind of If you go back and look at my where I sell, I don't always get the top of these. I didn't get the top up here. I didn't get the top here, but I got pretty close. And the play, the trade, the company, the financials all have substantially changed over the last 2 quarters. As we've been talking about, GameStop has turned the corner, it appears, based on the last 2 data points of operational profitability. So I think that is worth taking notice of. And I am, if nothing else, always willing on any ticker, if things turn around, you must change your analysis. That is common sense. And if the company has stopped the bleeding on operational profits, then the next thing that we look for is, can they get some upward momentum now on revenue? That's the next thing that I'd like to see. We already had a good beat just a few weeks ago, but I'd like to see a couple more quarters like that with upward revenue. Then you got 2 really good boxes checked. The real reason I'm bullish on GameStop and why I'm not like setting right now a certain price target where I'm absolutely selling is the company has $8.7 billion in cash. And, you know, I think that they're eventually going to do something with that that will allow us that do proper fair value assessments, proper DCF analysis to revalue the company at a higher fair value than it is right now. Right now, that cash sitting there is not really doing GameStop any favors. The fair value is, I don't know, somewhere around $20, maybe a little bit lower. It depends on how bullish you want to be on your assumptions. But it is, as we've said, it's potential to revalue the company using normal valuation, earnings per share, ROIC, ROA, ROE. And I think that is reason enough to be bullish, especially if they can turn the corner on operational profits, turn the corner on showing a pattern of growing revenue. The PowerPacks website could help on that for sure. That is exciting to think about. And so yeah, anybody who thinks I've been tough on GameStop, the GameStop of last year and 2 years ago is not the GameStop of the last couple months. If you can't recognize when things are going down and then when they go up, then I question your ability to do proper analysis. It's fine to be in love with the company and be bullish about it, but when it's going down, it's going down. I'm going to say what it is. And when it changes, I will also say what it is. Deal with it. Some of y'all out there, I know some of y'all like facts. Some of y'all just like main vein injected hopium. This is not the place for that. Grand Poobah, I see you changed your name. Maryland Mom, okay, I see you're arguing with dipshit there. J-Dog says, BITO dividends have been pretty good every 30 days. All right, Bitcoin 120K, let's go. Hadouken, hello. Let's look at what happened just real quick. At the end of the day today, GameStop got crushed down $1. Went from $27.97 all the way down to $26.72. Recovered in the last few minutes. I was making a video this afternoon, so I had all of my screens here watching Bed Bath & Beyond and GameStop and some other tickers. And I saw it happening, but I literally have not had time yet to go see if there was anything in particular that caused that. But of interest, if we go up to this other monitor, let me get on the right tab up here. The 5-minute top right. This is Bed Bath & Beyond. Around the same time, or maybe even a little bit before that, it started going up. Yeah, it was about an hour before that. And I was not expecting Bed Bath & Beyond to be up 17.5% today. That's pretty good. And all that volume started at the end of the day at the same time that the volume increased on GameStop, roughly the same time. And then we had AMC, let me go to the 5-minute, around the same time, also go up on increasing volume. What the heck is going on? If you guys have an answer, let me know in the chat. I'm not saying I have the answer just yet. Haven't had time to really look into it. But it is pretty funny. It is pretty funny to note what's going on here. Very curious. Pro Styles, big old bang the close. Yeah. GameStop got reamed at the close. Hopefully, you know, it'd be cool to see a day like Bed Bath & Beyond had up there. Be cool to see that tomorrow on GameStop. A 17% run. Hell yeah. We'll take that. Some of y'all been talking to me in the comments about selling covered calls, that, you know, you were planning on doing that. And, you know, that little run down today certainly helped you if you already sold covered calls. It helped you lock in that premium and took a little risk off your trades. You're not going to have to worry now as much about GameStop getting run up. But we'll see. I mean, 17% run happened on Bed Bath & Beyond today. Anything could happen tomorrow on GameStop. Pro Style says he bought back. Now you're thinking ahead. He bought back his covered calls on the dip. I like this guy. I like this guy. He would fit right in on our Discord. Are you in our Discord? Look at these guys buying the covered calls back on the cheap. That way you've eliminated the risk and you've captured the premium and the profits. I love it. I know some GameStop people hate seeing you guys trade options. They hate seeing you make money while they sit there with their thumbs up their ass. I'm not that guy. I want to see you make money. But don't trade options, please, if you don't know what you're doing. Clearly, Pro Styles does. Jeffrey said, why did GameStop run down so much? I don't know yet, Jeffrey. I was busy making a video. Then I had to get dinner cooked and get the animals fed. And then here we are. So I haven't had, I only took a brief look at social media to see if anybody else had any ideas. I don't know. I didn't see any news. And if you have ideas, I'm all ears tonight. You can fill my ears with 10, your best 10. Andrew, thank you for the like. If you are new here, there is a subscribe button down below. Please don't forget to smash that before you head out tonight. Joe Rowe says, expecting GameStop to dip the next few days. Large shareholders likely to reloan shares now that they got their warrants. Could be. We were, as I said, bullish from September 9th up to about October 3rd. Potentially the 7th, but I don't know. Because there would be a lot of FOMO, retail interest, hype about the warrants, and potentially some shorts just getting out of the way because they don't want to F around with it. They want to close out their short and step out of the way until tomorrow. And that's what I think you're hinting at, Joe. And all of those, I think, happened to a certain extent. Some shorts stepped out of the way, closed. Some retail bought because they're excited about warrants. And we will see. We will see tomorrow and next week what happens if we're correct in that little theory that maybe the shorts come back in. I don't know. Casey says, Grand Poobah made a yummy steak for us. Casey, is he a good cook? We made pork tenderloin tonight. I tried out 2 dry rubs on it, Casey. One was a fajita, chicken fajita premix, and the other was something new that I'm trying, which is pineapple pepper. Available in the Mexican section of spices in HEB. Pineapple pepper. It's little bits, little flakes of pineapple flavored something plus pepper, which on a pork dish is actually pretty good. I put both on it. I put both. Pro Style says stuck at work and starving. I'm sorry. Well, let me know. Davinda, if you need me to send you some. If maybe you can order it on Amazon. Six Sun says, can we look at BKKT? Yep. You were the one asking about that the other day, weren't you? Holy shit. Holy shit! Was that you telling us to check this one out just one day ago, and then today it's up 28%? Man, I need to start paying more attention to you guys. Look at this nonsense. I love it. Man, just 2 weeks ago, you could have bought this stock for $10. It's up to $50 now. This is why I say don't put all your money in one stock. Have some play money. Go have some fun. There's opportunities out there if you are good at, well, if you got to have the time. You got to have the time to watch the chart. Don't day trade if you don't have the time. But let's make that rule. But if you're just sitting there, good Lord, man, there's all sorts of opportunities. I got to stop making videos during the day because I miss out on shit like this. Six Sun. KC says, does anyone in Texas shop anywhere other than HEB? Yeah, Fiesta. Are you familiar with the Fiesta? It's like all Mexican, but it's the size of HEB. There's like one in every major city, maybe two in Houston. We have some occasional Randalls and Albertsons here, but they're very sparsely shopped in, and they're very expensive. Chris says, how is Davinda today? I see that he changed his name, Chris. He's in the chat under Graham Poobah, right above you. And yeah, I saw, Jeffrey, I saw some headline about Rumble. Let's see what happened. They announced some news, right? Let's go to the 5-minute after hours. They had a jump from 730 up to 980, and they've calmed back down to $8. What was the news? Oh yeah, Perplexity. All right. Strategic partnership with Perplexity. Cool. Cool beans. I have not taken the plunge on getting excited about Rumble yet. I mean, as a content creator, I use it. I do have a Rumble account where I try and upload my videos. But as far as the stock, I'm still waiting to see a turnaround in some financials. Looks like the optimal trade on that was buying in back in the beginning of 2024 and selling at the end of 2024. That's a nice run. $3 up to $17, but right back down to 7 now. Back to GameStop. Graham Poobah says, I hope I didn't make a fool of myself last night with the drinking. You did not. You did not. I think everybody enjoyed that. I mean, let's be real. It's been 10 months since we done some crazy shit like that here. And speaking of that, let me refill my water real quick. Oh yeah, Graham Poobah said that before the drinking we did on last night's live stream, he came into it on an empty stomach. You know, of all people, you should know me by now, Poobah. Do not challenge me to a shot contest. Although, I mean, you were way ahead of me before we even started, and I stopped it too. So I guess I was the one that wimped out. But I'm trying not to drink this year as we get back into fighting shape. Well, I'll make a reassessment of under what limited conditions I might allow drinking next year. I might have some around the holiday. Thanksgiving, Christmas. All right. Any other questions? GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, warrants, options, chart action. I don't know what happened. We got GameStop down here. We got Bed Bath & Beyond up there, 17%. In case you're wondering, I do not think that there's any secret plan between Marcus Lemonis, Ryan Cohen, and the now defunct bankrupt BBBYQ. I just think Marcus Lemonis over at Overstock now, Beyond now, Bed Bath & Beyond, I think he's really good at latching onto retail fervor, retail excitement. He knew that there were a certain amount of people that were interested in the ticker, the name, and he also recognized that there were people interested in warrants, and he boom, boom, boom. He just jump. That guy's not dumb. I don't think there's any secret plan, but I mean, wouldn't it be cool if there is? But I don't think there is, but it'd be cool. KC says alcohol makes getting into fighting shape challenging because it makes it difficult getting up the next day. It makes it difficult getting up, especially when you get older like me. Marilyn Mom says I have 600 shares of GameStop that I bought at $27.69. What are some of my options for the near future? Should I plan to hold or sell? So do you have other shares besides those? Or is that your account is basically 600 at a cost average of $27.69? The word warrant should be banned. I'll give you a pass tonight. Do not drink if I say warrant. Only if I say GameStop. Marilyn Mom, I'm still waiting for her to answer before I share some opinions. Hadouken's got some advice. He says 6 covered calls or diamond hand them. Casey says drinking pauses fat burning for 24 hours. Holy shit. I knew that it paused fat burning while the alcohol was being processed, but I didn't know about 24 hours. Marilyn Mom says that is all I have. I have over 100 other stocks, so you're well diversified, sounds like, right? GameStop is not, in terms of dollars, GameStop is not your biggest bucket, hopefully. If you have 100 other stocks and you're at $27.69 and the stock is at $27.22 right now, so you're pretty damn near to break even. Here's how I'm looking at this trade, Marilyn Mom. When I say this trade, I'm not saying a trade of what you should do, just how I'm analyzing GameStop, and I'm open to be critiqued. You can have a different opinion. The company is not going bankrupt. They have almost $9 billion in cash. If Ryan Cohen or they have the Power Packs website, which hopefully will They have the Power Packs website, which will hopefully increase revenue. However, I think the other thing that nobody wants to talk about is we don't know between now and January what other amount of stores are going to be closed. I'm hearing rumors that there's going to be another pretty large round of store closures. Maybe not a big deal if the Power Packs website really takes off, right? But we can't just ignore that certain risks are out there, but let's just ignore it for the moment. Let's ignore potential store closures. But it might be a risk to consider. Power Pack website, the getting back into Legos, I don't know how big that'll be, but it's something. Mostly, there's no bankruptcy risk. And we just need Ryan and GameStop to tell us what they're going to do with all that cash. And if it is properly invested, you could easily bump up the earnings per share, the net income of the company, far beyond what it's at right now, and get a valuation, a fair value, far higher than today's price. So if you're comfortable taking a little risk, that's for you to decide. I think it's probably, and you're well diversified, it's probably okay to wait and see what happens, what Ryan Cohen does with the money, and then hope that what he does is not just sell GameStop or ride off into the sunset like the Bears say he's going to do. I mean, I can't rule anything out. In the multiverse, are those possible outcomes? Yeah, sure, they're possible. Do I think they're high probability? I don't, but I'm not going to say they're impossible either. I just think they're very, very low probability. I really genuinely think Ryan Cohen is trying to transform this company into something to prove all the doubters and haters wrong, to turn the shorts into longs. Trudy, what's up, says new and trying to figure out the warrant process. What questions you got, Rudy? So Maryland Mom, to answer your question, Hadouken had said consider covered calls. If you have experience with options, that might be something to consider in periods where the IV is high. But I'm not going to give you any specific advice on YouTube on how to do that. We talk over those things in Discord because I need to hear what kind of experience people have, what their risk tolerance is, what their cost basis is, what they think GameStop's going to do. There's a lot of questions to go through just to even start having the conversation. And the conversation is only to help you analyze it, not to give you any instructions. But yeah, I mean, the safe play is just diamond hand and hope, the safest. It has some risk, but I think it's minimal risk. The biggest risk would be a market crash, I think. But doesn't matter what you own at that point. They're all going to go down, so what are you going to do? Wild Windle, how you doing? Marilyn says she thinks RC is a good guy. Hadouken says Tony, Doctor Strange, Denaro. I was just rewatching. I've been rewatching some of the Marvel films. Funny you mention that. Yesterday, last 2 days, I watched Deadpool and Deadpool 2, and then I started watching Deadpool and Wolverine, but I haven't made it through that one yet. Get in it says, do you think you finally witnessed crime? What are we talking about? The halt? What is it that you think is crime? And then I'll be able to comment. Get in it. Let me know. Grand Poobah says, what do you think triggered the run up on AMC this afternoon? Probably we didn't have enough shots last night, Grand Poobah. It's our fault. I don't know. AMC and Bed Bath and Beyond ran up, and GameStop ran down. You know what? Some people are going to say they had to swap the liquidity. I don't know. I'm coming to you guys for answers. I hadn't figured it out yet. I might have some answers in the morning. Huddigan says, I've DCA'd for the last 5 years. That is a good plan too, especially when it was really, really cheap. You know, that hope, Maryland Mom, have you been, when it got cheap, were you buying down then? I don't know when you first started buying. Maybe you mentioned it. Get In It says, I don't know. I'm asking what is the reason for the fallout in price after hours. Oh, on GameStop, yeah. I think an equally good question to ask before we ask what is the reason the price ran down is what is the reason the price ran up? You must be able to answer the first to have a theory about the second. Is that fair? I see some pretty crazy theories that I don't agree with out there about why the price ran up. Institutions want those warrants. No, I don't agree with that one. Sorry. Institutions already own a fuck ton of GameStop and bonds. They're going to get plenty of warrants. And if they want the warrants, they will just go buy the warrants when they're cheap after the volatility gets worn out and the price calms down. If they want warrants, they can go buy them. There'll be a point where you can buy them cheap. Why are they going to bid the stock up to get warrants with an uncertain outcome of what happens next week with the price action? The only way you make that argument is you've convinced yourself that this stock only can go up. And I'm not here to tell you that that is the only outcome. There's an equal probability it could go down. So maybe this is just normal trading. But we did predict that the price would go up until tomorrow. And it did. Because of FOMO, because of excitement, hopium, and some shorts probably getting out of the way, closing out their short position. At least, through end of business today. And then they're in the clear to go back in tomorrow. Hadouken says, do you listen to the band Warrant? I have heard their songs before. I think they were my era, right? Weren't they 80s or 90s band? But I can't for the life of me think of what one of their songs are, but I know the second that I heard it, I'm like, oh yeah, of course I know that. Get In It. Yeah, I think you got a good understanding there of why it ran up. The stock has a large following that buys and holds, and a lot of underground positive affirmation. Those are perfectly legitimate reasons. I agree with you. And I'll add in a little extra sauce and say some shorts were closing because they don't want to fuck around dealing with these warrants. But they could come back, and maybe they came back. I don't know. It wouldn't make sense to come back at the end of the day. Maybe it just got overvalued. I mean, they said that's enough. Maybe they already know what the game plan is for tomorrow and next week. They're sharpening their knives. I don't know. That's why we're going to live stream this every day, at least for an hour a day, and see what the heck happens, because this is a learning moment for everyone. I think that the excitement and the social media takes, some of them are well beyond reality, and I'd love for them to be right. And so we're gonna sit here and experience it together, for better or worse. I've tried to set myself up with a low enough cost basis that I'm going to be okay whatever the outcome is. I don't think GameStop's going below $20 unless the market crashes. Wendell says tomorrow last day to buy GME to get warrants. Today was actually the last day, Wendell. Today before 8 p.m. Eastern. So now the stock is halted. It's halted overnight. They're running all the tabulations on the computers, getting all everybody's name on Santa's list. So they'll know who the official holders of record are. And then I don't want to give you any trading advice, but I think potentially you could even sell tomorrow and be okay because you're on the list tonight. You're on the list when the market opens. And even if you sold tomorrow, that won't clear till Monday. So if you needed to, I think you could still sell tomorrow and still get the warrants. But none of y'all are planning on selling. I'm just talking out loud. Talking out loud. But for sure, today was the last day to buy to get the warrants. If you buy them tomorrow, you're not going to get the warrants. Too late. Get in, it says retail are not the people selling in after hours. Yeah, let's be clear. The halt was not because of price action. I know it's a little clickbaity on the thumbnail. I apologize. In my tweet, I put it was halted due to a corporate action. And that's the facts. It was halted right at 8 o'clock, right when after hours trading finished and before we went into overnight session. Halted for corporate action, which is the ex-dividend date tomorrow. So overnight, they're going to tabulate who's getting the warrants. That's all. This is not crime. Nobody drove the price down. It didn't go up or down. It was just trading flat from market close to 8 p.m. And then they halt so they can get your names on the list for your distribution next week. Oh, Cherry Pie was one of their songs. Okay. I would play them, but YouTube's gonna get mad at me. Bed of Roses 7 years ago. Cherry Pie 15 years ago. Heaven, yeah, 15 years ago. I used to buy a lot of vinyl, back in the day, but not in this day. Back in the day, it was the 1980s. And I don't think I ever owned a Warrant album or cassette or even a DVD, but I definitely am familiar with the band. Yeah, get in it. No worries. I don't mind people that are contrarian. I know you're not trying to be. And even if you are, I'm not one of the channels that bans you guys for having a different opinion. I actually think that having discussion and debate and disagreement is how everybody can learn. Some of the best education I've got on different stocks was by being willing to listen to other people I didn't agree with. There's way too much of this stick your head in the sand, create an echo chamber, block everybody, curse at them, insult them, act like a toddler. I'm going to block you. I don't like what you said about my stock. They're all just tickers to me. I don't love any CEO. I don't love or worship any company. I certainly wouldn't put a fucking tattoo on my body. We're not cult members here. I encourage debate and discussion as long as you can have discussion like a normal adult. That means the vast majority of people covering GameStop on YouTube simply are not at our level. They're still stuck in 5th grade, and that's fine. I mean, even 5th grade needs a teacher. but we're trying to have a chat with the adults here, and we encourage education, properly valuing these stocks, changing our opinions and our views as needed as things change. And you're always welcome here if you're contrarian. Just be able to speak like an adult. I don't got time for nonsense. My kids are already grown. I don't need to babysit no kids in a YouTube chat. Grand Poobah with the deep words. When conversation stops, when violence begins. I think Grand Poobah, it's more like on YouTube, when conversation stops, idiocy begins. These people, man, that get stuck in an echo chamber. And they can't have any discussion. It just immediately turns to doxing, insulting. Yeah. It says a lot about the immaturity of the person and their inability to actually talk about due diligence or finance when their first response is kindergarten level shit. It is funny. I mean, it tells you a lot about the people and the people that glom onto those channels. I love channels that really get into the nitty-gritty of the financial analysis and are willing to look at different viewpoints. Let's have a bear viewpoint, a base viewpoint, a bullish viewpoint. What gets us into each one of these buckets? I think that is great discussion, and you should do it on every ticker. And then reevaluate your once you've done your analysis every quarter, reevaluate. Did anything change? Did it get better? Did it get worse? Did they do as I expected? Are they communicating? And then you can make changes in your analysis of the ticker. That is a normal thing to do. Wedmore says, but some idiots start conversations. Yeah. When an idiot starts a conversation, Wedmore, I will usually just smile, not say anything, and walk away, because it's just honestly not worth my time. Hadouken with another words of wisdom. It's better sometimes to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. I love that one. Bremus says, how high do you think GME will go? I don't give price targets, Bremus. I leave that for the pumper channels. They'll tell you 500 or 1,000 bucks. Just look at the chart and connect this point, connect this point down here to this point up here and draw a line. I'm going to be funny here for a minute. Just draw this line and look, this price is going to go. Well, I mean, what year do you want it to? By 2030, we'll be at 600, 700 bucks. That's the DD you get on other channels. Absolute horseshit. It is. Sometimes I don't have time. Barnum and Bailey isn't in town. If I want to go see the clowns in the circus, I'll just find a channel that's doing this shit. It is pretty funny. They don't ever give you any earnings to justify how it's going to get to 600 or 700 bucks. They just draw little clown lines on their chart. I don't give price targets. We can have a discussion about what do we think the earnings can transform for GameStop if they properly invest their cash, and based on that earnings, how could we revalue the company? What would that price be given a reasonable PE ratio? We can absolutely have that discussion and come up with an agreeable price target. That we can do. And if we want to throw out all reason, all analysis, all finance, all accounting, and just say, could this thing squeeze? That's a different discussion. The short interest is 16.7%. I do not, on my channel, consider any stock a short squeeze candidate if the short interest is under 20%. That's just a rule here. You can agree with it or not agree with it. We've seen plenty of stocks have huge runs up, even if they had under 20% short interest. That is a fact. So that's just my rule. I had to draw the line somewhere. And long ago, that was the line we drew. I'm not going to call a stock a short squeeze candidate if the short interest is under 20%. Even though it could. You get the right news. You got 60 million shorts. You get the right news to get buyers. Let's say GameStop had some acquisition that was going to get them $40, $50, $60 valuation based on new expectations for revenue and earnings. You'd see some shorts get squeezed, and you'd probably overshoot that new valuation, at least momentarily, from shorts getting fucked. So I don't ever discount the possibility of unforeseen price run-ups. Totally possible, but I can't forecast that stuff. I draw the supply zones on here so you kind of know where the resistance is, and we always hope it breaks through a supply zone, because then you get into new, cool, uncharted territory. That's where it really gets spicy. I'm going to be watching really close. If we get up to $34 next week, next month, middle of next year, does it bounce down? See how it did here? Does GameStop do something? Does it bounce down just from normal supply? Or does it break through? If it breaks through, that becomes very bullish. So it's constantly evaluating. Constantly evaluating. And I see you're saying you do not believe a short squeeze will happen. Every time it runs up, I will just tell you, any ticker, when they run up, I have to evaluate the news or the catalyst that is making it run and decide if it's retail emotion and hype, then I might take an exit. If there's actual news behind why it is running up, or Wall Street is getting behind it with analyst price targets, like a Palantir, for example, or an NVIDIA, then you might stay in that stock and just let it run. Peel off a little bit every now and then, but don't sell the whole position. So if you don't think there's a short squeeze coming, I'm just going to say the first area of interest for me that I will be watching is between 33 and $35 if there is no news. If it's able to meander up there just on hype over the warrants, and then it kind of starts fading, volume starts evaporating, then that might be it. But I'm hoping that at some point in the next 13 months, GameStop has some news of what they plan to do with the cash. Maybe next week, that'd be cool. Maybe 12 months from now. I don't know when the news will be. But it would be nice if he's thought this out. I'm going to issue the warrants. I'm going to do the 32 strike because it makes everybody happy. The bondholders, the other bondholders, shareholders. And I think we can get everybody taken care of with the news that we have planned. That might be a pipe dream on my part. The bears are going to say, Tony, you're dreaming. Ryan doesn't have a plan. Well, you don't know that. You don't know that. He might have a plan. That is my speculation. Just leave me in my corner. It took me a long time to get here and be this bullish. Grand Poobah says, is a short squeeze off the table for AMC? Grand Poobah, now through December is the best opportunity for AMC to short squeeze because they have no ability to stop it. The company has no ability to stop it. They're functionally out of shares. But what is the catalyst? Roaring Kitty coming back? That'd be, oh man. If Roaring Kitty comes back and gets all these meme baskets going, AMC could really run, even though there's no good reason for it. If it's in a meme basket that gets people excited that Roaring Kitty comes back, you saw what happened last year. AMC ran up to whatever, 11, 12 bucks. They cannot stop it by issuing more shares this time around. They're out. They're done until December when the next vote is for more shares. So am I going to say it's impossible, Poobah? It's not impossible, but once they get more shares, they need more shares. They're going to be working you hard to get you to approve that vote in December. Once they get more in their hands, the company will, like Ryan Cohen has done, sell into any run-ups. So Rima says, how can it hold 35 when it never has? If I had to make a prediction, Bremus, this is typically what we see on these supply zones is they act as resistance and the price pushes back down. Look at this other little one we had here for the last 10 months. Boom, boom, boom. It hit it 3 times and traded in between until it finally broke through. But once it broke through with conviction. So, I mean, you might hit this supply zone up here, 32, 33. You might hit that several times until you get some news or something changes to push it through. I'm not saying it. I mean, I can't guarantee. We've already had 1, 2 touches on this. It might take more. I really think it's up to GameStop to announce some reason for the company to be revalued. And then it will secondarily be up to them not to issue bonds or an ATM. GameStop has effectively killed all the runs. But I think that, you know, maybe this, I could be reaching here a little bit, but I think that by issuing the warrants, he's kind of signaling like he's done raising money. Now it's time to wait for the news. A guy can dream, you know. That would make everybody happy. Come on, Ryan. Deliver one for the kids. All right, we got about 8 minutes left. If you guys have other questions, get them in now. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button to help us get over 23,000 subs. I haven't checked today. I don't know if we went over that. While you are typing your questions, I'm going to refill this water one more time. Hit the like. I love it, Maryland Mom. Wendell says, totally agree. Ryan Cohen has a plan. Let us take a moment and pray to the gods, both old and new. Come on, Ryan. Deliver it. Brima says, in your honest opinion, do you think the GME float is over 100% short? I do not. I will allow the possibility that I'm wrong. I will not argue with you if you're convinced that it's over. I mean, there's people that say the float is shorted billions of shares, just naked hanging out there. And I'm just going to say, before I circle back to answering your question again, if you think the float is naked shorted billions of shares, that means the SEC, FINRA, nobody is doing their job. What is your hope to ever get them to stop doing that? They're running amok. The inmates are running the asylum. How do you ever win? If you really believe they could naked short billions and billions of shares, 5x the float, like some of these guys say, how do you ever win? Because they will just keep doing it. So I choose to believe that the short interest in 2021 was over 100% as reported, and with the right catalyst and the right interest and the shorts being, too cocky, they got fucked over and a short squeeze happened in 2021. But now the shorts learned and they are managing their risk in other ways. And the short interest is 17%. And most of those are bondholders just hedging a bond. GameStop is a idiotic short. Why would anybody be short? It's not going bankrupt. There is no more short thesis. It's perfectly reasonable for me to believe that the short interest is 17%, because it's a dumb short. No one in their right mind would short this stock, and I don't think shorts are stupid. And I don't think they're trapped. They've had plenty of opportunities in the last 3 years to get out. Most recently at $9.99, $9.95. They will come in and short it anytime it gets run up over their definition of fair value. Absolutely. You're not done with the shorts yet until Ryan does something with that cash. But I will submit to you my belief that the vast majority, 2/3 of the shorts in GameStop, are just people hedging bonds. They're not even betting against GameStop. A short to hedge a bond is not a directional bet. It's just a delta hedge. Everybody wants GameStop to go up. Retail, the bond holders would love for it to go up. That's a win-win for them. They could choose to. I know the GameStop people will tell you, oh, they're going to exercise those bonds. They want those shares. They don't give a fuck. If the price goes up, the share price goes up to the moon, 30, 32, 35, 37, their bonds are going to soar in value. They could just sell the bonds and they're going to make the same money. They don't need the shares. Nobody's going to exercise those shares until maturity. Stop letting people lie to you. If someone is telling you these bondholders want to exercise because they really want the shares, I'm going to tell you that person has never talked to a bond trader. They've never taken a finance class. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm sorry, I'm opinionated and that is harsh, but it's facts. These people have not talked to bond traders. Bond traders don't care about getting the shares. They're making money off of volatility. And so they have to hedge the bonds. It's not a directional bet. And anybody else that is short, there are some because, for whatever reason, they don't believe in Ryan Cohen. They hate GameStop. They're mad that he hasn't done something with the cash. As long as he hasn't done something with it, they feel their bet is safe. They can knock it back down to 21. There's always somebody that has a bear thesis. I mean, you don't have any stock that has no bears. But I do not think that the float is oversold. No. I think the reported short interest is the short interest. And once I kind of let that whole retail hopium stuff go, it was entertaining and interesting, and I gave it all a shot. But once I let that go and just looked at the reported short interest in the chart, I started making a lot more profitable trades on these meme stocks. Rima says, what do the bonds have to do with GameStop? Well, he sold $4 billion in convertible bonds, right? That's what they have to do with it. GameStop sold $4 billion in bonds to put $4 billion in cash on the balance sheet to give themselves liquidity to go acquire something. And that's like free money. It is debt. It is money that's got to be paid back at some point in cash or shares. But it's 0%. So the cost of that debt is functionally nothing to the company. It's like free money that they hope in 5 years that the price will be high enough that they can just give those people, those bondholders, shares. They probably do not want to part with their cash. And they will hope that the price is high enough in 5 years that nobody's going to care that the bondholders are getting shares. It's going to be dilution, but the hope is by then the price is so high, nobody cares. So, I mean, the reason I mentioned the bonds is because you must now understand this is not the same play of 2024, 2023, 2022. You have institutions with $4 billion on the line managing what happens to this stock to the extent that they can create a profit no matter what direction it goes. The worst thing for them is no volatility. They want to see that price whip up or down. They will make money both ways. They're not making money off of 0% interest, so they need volatility. And they will run their little ARB strategies and their volatility trades. And they are going to make money every day that the stock is moving. They love this the bond traders love this past couple weeks. This is beautiful for them. They're making money hand over fist. And they don't even need they don't need the shares to make money. And if you doubt anything that I'm saying, go find your own bond traders and go ask them these questions. Same shit's happening in MSTR. This is very basics of finance and bonds. I mean, we're not talking anything. I'm not reaching here for DD. This is not tinfoil. My college kid is taught this stuff at his business school. This is the basics. And anybody denying it is delusional in my mind. They're YouTubers. Oh, they want those shares. Like you're ridiculous. Clown shows on some of these channels. Zachary says, at the very least, the bonds allow GameStop to have enough cash to make interest on the cash while they close stores. As long as they hold the cash, they'll be able to pay it back. Yep. I mean, 4%, making 4% better off of several $1 billion of cash is better than having no cash, making no interest, right, Zachary? The problem is I see a lot of retail traders and social media voices saying that the company should be valued on having $8.7 billion in cash, and valuations don't really work that way. Cash is only worth cash. And when we talk about what the cash is worth, it's net cash. So it's the cash minus $4 billion in debt. GameStop does not have, like these people want to tell you, $9 billion in cash. Therefore, it's worth $23. They have $4 billion in cash, roughly. 4.5, 4.7. Because you have to subtract the debt. Let's be fair. Let's be real. Let's be honest with the kids. You YouTubers, don't lie. I know you like to ignore that debt is on the balance sheet, but it's there, and net cash is a thing. But what that cash does is it gives GameStop optionality to invest. They don't need to repay that cash for 5 years. They have 5 years to figure out something interesting to do with that money to radically transform earnings, ROIC, ROA, ROE. And we can completely calculate, hopefully, a new and much higher fair value for GameStop. And all the analysts will be fumbling all over themselves to start covering GameStop. That is the hope anyways. All right. It is past 9:30 now. That was going to be our cutoff for tonight. And I certainly appreciate all the new folks here tonight, all of the regular and returning visitors. Thank you as well. Whether you agree with my opinions or not, it's not going to hurt my feelings. I enjoy having discussion with you guys. I'm not ever trying to talk you out of your belief. I would like you to open your minds to being able to have discussions about stuff. Hear the other side out. I'm not the other side on GameStop. I'm not a GameStop bear. I'm talking about in all discussions of different tickers. Open yourself up to having discussions. Not everybody is trying to hurt you. Some of them are. I do not short stocks. Period. I look for good entries and go long.
Hadouken donated $10 through Super Chat. Thanks, Tony.
Hadouken, thank you. God bless you. Grand Poobah, have a good night. Yeah, drinks plenty of water, my friend. KC says, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for all you do for this community. Tony Denaro, thank you, KC. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm not your enemy. You know, the other channels try and portray me as an enemy because they're deathly afraid of people actually learning. That's all right. You know, most of the cult members are not they're not our channel. They're not the people that actually want to learn about investing. They just want to pick one stock and put all their life savings in, and that's fine. I'm not trying to change their minds. It's just not my audience, and that's cool with me. We all have the same goal: make money and not get crushed while doing it. So I believe the way to do that is through intelligent analysis. Buy when it's cheap, sell into run-ups, rinse and repeat. Maybe you don't sell in the next run-up. If the news is there that says keep holding it, then maybe we keep holding it. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. And if I see that bridge coming, I will certainly have that conversation with you guys. Thank you. We love you. Have a good night.
A blue candle up, a red candle down, buy the dip, dollar hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, buy the dip, dollar hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down, buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down, buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, heavy rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. Green candle up and red candle down, buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, GameStop's rising strong. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, show you care. A green candle up, a red candle down, buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. A green candle up, a red candle down, buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, buy rinse it instead. If you love it, buy a share.